This receptacle right here is for an extension cord. It's called a block heater. So you can plug that into any extension cord when the truck's parked in cold weather, and what it'll do is it has a heating element in the engine, and it'll keep the engine warm. So when you come back to the truck and it's 5 degrees out, you unplug that thing and the truck will start. The engine's not frozen. It's called a block heater. So this guy right here is your shore power receptacle. So basically, if you're parked and you have access to electricity, you can get the converter cord that's up in the truck, plug that in, lock it up, plug the other into a regular extension cord. Okay, now what'll happen is now the truck will be powered, the stuff in the sleeper will be powered by the shore power cord. So you can turn off the truck, you can turn off the generator, and you can have all your lights, all your electricity, all your power up there that you need, okay? So this comes in handy where a lot of folks will go to an RV park for the weekend, okay? And they don't want the generator running, they don't want the truck running, so they have access to that. They plug that in there and everything can be powered up right there. Underneath this step right here is the batteries, okay? So you just open this right here, twist it, this step will come off, and then you have this lid right here, and underneath there's the 4 truck batteries. Right down here is a negative and positive for a jump start. If you needed to ever jump start it, you want to hook it right to those right there instead of the battery. Battery has a lot of fuses hooked up to it and stuff, and if you put too much power in there, you could pop fuses. So if you ever have to jump it, it's right there. Here's your side boxes. Each side box has 2 locks on it, and the truck will come with 2 of these black keys, usually 4 of them. 1 key goes to each lock, then a separate key goes here. So each of these locks are keyed separately, okay? So, this one will lock the handle, okay? And this lock puts a deadbolt across there. If this is unlocked, someone can have access to your truck, so it's important that you lock that. From inside, you can also lock it with this red switch, okay? And you can also open the door with this handle right here. These will get corroded, okay, from road grime and road salt, and in the wintertime, you would get a shot of WD-40 or lock lubricant type of thing and put it in these locks right there. If you don't, they're gonna get corroded and froze up. So going back to this compartment here, you'll usually have your fire extinguisher mounted there, and then you'll have your hose fill-up mounted there. And basically this is just the end of a regular garden hose, okay? Most truck stops, facilities like that, will have a hose that you can hook up there and get water, okay? Again, the water tank runs basically in this section of the truck. It's hidden in the back of the sleeper, runs against the back wall. It's a 13-gallon water tank. So you will have this hooked up to a hose and you're filling it, okay? Here's an on-off guy right there to let the water flow or not. When you know it's filled, what'll happen is it'll overflow on the tank and it'll start running into the ground. So you'll sit here and fill it. Once it's filled is all of a sudden you'll see water start running out to the ground there. Closed position now. And if you turn it that way, whatever way it is, go there. Now it's open and the water's gonna drain right out of the water tank, okay? So again, during winter months, if you wanna drain the water out of the tank, you open this up, okay? Leave it open and then go up to the faucet and leave your faucet taps open and it's gonna drain all the water out of there, okay? So if you do that, you shouldn't have any frozen parts on the truck. This other side box here, I call this one your electrical closet, all right? It'll have the inverter, the battery charger, fuse panels, and fuse boxes. So number one, it's important that you don't put anything in there. Nothing goes in there. No blankets, nothing. No tools. You don't want to put anything in there, okay? A lot of electricity's in there, a lot of heat, so you want to keep that area clean. You can also access that by lifting the seat off inside if you need to. Your fuse panel, okay, you have 4 fuses just like you would in your basement. So if something in the sleeper stops working, like your TV, your microwave, or your lights or something like that, the first thing you want to check is come back and make sure that your fuse switches are on. Okay, something could have got tripped and it could have tripped your fuse panel there. Other than that, your appliances are plugged in. These are plugs for the appliance, like the microwave, the TV, the inverter, that type of stuff, okay? So again, if something stopped working, it could be possible that one of these plugs came unplugged there. The yellow box is the inverter, okay? If you remember when you're going down the road and you want to use your microwave, you hit that button. What that thing is doing there, the inverter is taking battery power and now converting it to electricity for your appliances. So let's move forward. The toolbox. Any toolbox you put on a truck is not 100% watertight, so I wouldn't put anything in there that you don't want to get wet. This tank right here is your diesel exhaust fluid tank. That's a 30-gallon tank, okay? And pretty simple, you take it off and you put your nozzle in there and fill it up. And if you put the diesel fuel, gas pump in there, okay, instead of diesel exhaust fluid, you're gonna do a lot of damage to the truck. So whoever's driving the truck wants to make sure that they're grabbing the right pump to put in there, okay? Diesel exhaust fluid pump. Okay, you got dual 80-gallon fuel tanks. Trucks come with both flip placards and slide placard holders. Front tires, you know, a lot of people will run in that 110 to 115 pound range, okay? And same with the back. Part of a driver's job is to do a pre-trip inspection every single day, and that's including going around to all tires and making sure they're at the proper air setting. It's something that has to be checked every single day, and you're gonna get long wear out of your tires. Little pocket right there where you can get like a screwdriver in there, pop that off, and it'll show you the hub, and the same on the back wheel there to where you can check the oil. Okay, so if you look at it, okay, it'll tell you, well, you know, that line is full, and right here is where the fluid is, okay? So it's maximum, all right, so it's filled. If it needs to be filled, this rubber cap, it's just a plug, comes out of there, okay, and you fill your lube in there. The U-bolt, that's basically what holds the van body to the frame of the truck. And if you look at this section right here, this is a 2x4, okay? And they put that 2x4 between the metal of the van body and the metal of the frame. And what happens is that creates a cushion or a pocket over a period of time for that to settle in. That wood is gonna compress over a period of time, and now you're gonna have a loose area there. So it's important when you get a brand new vehicle like this, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, for a while, okay, to have those bolts retightened. Your van's not gonna fall off if you don't, but what's gonna happen is that's gonna get loose and your van could shift an inch or two either way, which isn't a good thing. The dolly legs, back into a situation, guy's gonna go in and out of there with a forklift. You set those down to the ground so it doesn't drop down on your suspension. Those always need to go down to the ground so it stands, okay, firm, and the truck doesn't sink down and put torsion and put too much pressure on your airbag. You back into a loading dock, a guy has a forklift, okay, that weighs 10,000 pounds, and he's got a pallet with 5 or 10,000 pounds, and he's a race car going in and out of there because he's got to get you loaded. So what you really want to do is take the airbags suspension, empty the airs up there, so now those bags are down, okay? It's going to lower the back of your truck. You come here, okay, and crank and lower that down until it's on the ground, okay? And that's going to give your truck a firm support, so when they come in and out of there, okay, they're not going to twist your airbag. Right here you got the 30-gallon fuel tank for the Reefer, okay? The only fuel gauge is right here. All right, so that's tapped in directly to the Reefer. I've had people tell me this is a 30-gallon tank, okay, that they can run the Reefer 3 days solid, okay, on 30 gallons of fuel, all right? The whole idea about that right there is since that's driven or tapped in directly to the Reefer unit is you can use off-road diesel fuel in that tank, okay? Off-road diesel fuel is cheaper than regular diesel fuel because you don't pay the fuel tax. Okay, so each van, okay, is gonna have 5 rows of E-track, all right? And it's also gonna have 6 D-rings in the floor. And then it comes with all the load securement equipment, the bars, the straps, the blankets. Then you have the LED lights. The only way you turn the LED lights on inside is up on the dashboard. So the truck comes with a remote control for the lift gate. It's real simple. You have an up or down button. It'll plug right into the side of the truck. Take the lift gate down. Gets to that point there, then we have to open it up. Okay, and then open it up one more time. Now you lower it again, and you're ready to load your freight, okay? This also has cart stops. If you look at this little yellow guy here, you kick it, and that pops up, okay? There's 2 of them. And that's there so your freight, if it's on a roller, won't roll off the end, okay? To close it, you just step on it, and it'll lock back down, okay? So once you're on the gate, you have your freight, you push it up, it'll level out. See, it's level, and now it'll go all the way up, okay? To where it'll level up. Both doors have to be open to get the lift gate to go all the way up, okay? It's a 4,000 pound capacity lift gate. So you have it in this position to close it, fold that, pull that up, okay, and then take it all the way up. There's also a ground level switch right here. There's just a simple toggle switch to operate the lift gate. That's the APU. So the APU is controlled inside the sleeper. Basically, this is a diesel Kubota engine, and it draws its fuel from the fuel tank. And that'll burn about 1 gallon of fuel per evening idling versus idling your truck. Main thing on that is you want to keep it serviced properly. Once you get past your break-in oil of 150 to 200 hours, you'll go to 1,000-hour service intervals. These 2 right here, they're tow hooks. Those come out and they go in these holes in the bumper right there. So if the truck ever needs to be towed, the guy doesn't just come in and clamp onto your bumper. He's going to rip it off. Put those tow hooks in there and he hooks onto those tow hooks. The nice thing about this engine is everything's clearly marked what it is, okay? Power steering fluid. Obviously that's your coolant, it says on top for the radiator, okay? This is where you put oil in it, it says right there, and there's your dipstick, okay? The oil change and service intervals on this engine is 50,000 miles on highway use. So right here, that's a power on-off switch. So when you turn that on or off, what it's doing is it's killing the power in the cab. So if you leave the cab light on, you turn this off, it's gonna turn the power off there. Ideally, if you're gonna be away from the truck for a period of time, okay, you can turn it off, all right? A lot of people get in the habit of every time they get out of the truck, they just turn that off. So the seat system, that's for your heated seat right there. Air up, air down, and then each button has a diagram to show you what airbag it is. Okay, so this one here is on the side, this one here is on the side back of the seat, and then you have 3 chambers, high, medium, low back chambers in the seat that you can either inflate or deflate. Okay, then this truck seat also has a system that they call a back cycler. What you can do is push that button, that back cycler, and what it'll do is it'll start by deflating all the back airbags, okay? And then what it'll do is inflate them to the contour of your back. On the driver's side door, you have power window switch, power locks, and the power mirrors. All right, your headlight switch, this is in the off position. 1 click to the right turns on your marker lights, your yellow lights. 1 more click turns on your headlights, and then you can pull it out and it will turn on the fog lights that are in the front bumper. Okay. Your turn signal's right here. All right, just like a car, you have your high and low window washer or windshield washer switch, and you can pull it back and forth for your high beam also. Okay. Your cruise control is operational right here. There's no switches on the dash for the cruise control, so on and off, set, excel, resume, and cancel is all right here for your cruise control.
You have one unread message.
Basically, when you turn the truck on, your gauges are going to sweep back and forth. It's important to not start the truck until the gauges come back in a resting position. Okay, so basically you give the key 1 click, the gauges will sweep all the way over, all the way back, and then come up to where they should be. That's when you finish starting the truck, okay? If you jump in the truck and just give it a quick turn, it's called a quick start, okay? And what'll happen sometimes, it'll throw some warning lights and stuff like that. So give the key one click, okay? The gauges will sweep all the way over, come back, then they'll go up to where like the fuel gauges and stuff like that, and the current air pressure, okay? Then at that point, you give it one more click and start the truck, okay? N is neutral. Obviously, it tells you your time, the temperature, the current miles. 1/7, there's 7 screens on there that'll tell you your oil temperature, the fuel mileage, and that type of stuff. You get through these screens by the plus and minus on the steering wheel here. Okay, so you hit this up and it'll take you into screen 2, screen 3, all right, and there's a total of 7 screens that you can reset. Okay, when you get to number 7, you can either hit it one more time or you can come back over to menu back, okay, and it'll take you back to the main menu, okay, and you can continue to go in there and reset it. The transmission is a Detroit diesel transmission. The model is a DT12, meaning it's a 12-speed transmission. This transmission is an automated transmission, so there's no clutch pedal. Okay, you just have a brake and a fuel pedal. This transmission is going to skip gears up or down. So when we put it in gear, it'll probably start out in second gear. But if we take across the parking lot, what it's going to do, the computers on the truck are going to sense the incline, okay, how much weight we have on the truck, all right, and it's going to put us in the proper gear to keep our RPMs low, to keep our fuel mileage going. So basically, to put this truck in gear, we start it like we did, put our foot on the foot brake, okay, release this, and then turn that to drive. You see right there, it's in second gear. It says A, Econ. A stands for automatic, and Econ stands for economy mode. The transmission has 2 modes: economy mode, which is going to get you your best fuel mileage, or manual mode. You push this button in, okay, and it'll switch it to manual mode. Pushing it again, and it'll switch it back to economy mode. If you sometime want to have it in manual and you want to shift the gear, you pull the paddle up to upshift, so it just went into third gear, and then you push it down to downshift, just like you would shift a standard transmission. So you can switch back between manual and auto anytime you're parked or if you're going down the road. Anytime you can switch back. It doesn't have to be stopped. One other thing that this shift column does is it controls the engine brake on the truck. All right, all the way up, the engine brake's off. Okay, if you click it down one time, you'll see this green light illuminate right here. 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-stage engine brake, so it has a low, medium, and high. Anytime you're going down a mountain or a big hill and you're loaded, okay, a long mountain type thing, and you don't want to, have your foot on the brake all the time to risk overheating your brakes, you turn your engine brake on, and that's going to slow your vehicle down for you. Okay, but again, it's just all the way up is off. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The tilt and telescopic steering wheel, okay, is right here with my foot. You push that pedal, the wheel's going to go up or down and in or out. Okay. Wherever you let it pedal is where it's going to stay. The plus and minus gauge here is for the dimmer switch for the dash lights. So you can either make your dimmer switch or your dash lights brighter or darker just by pressing that button there. Obviously that one there is your hazards. Okay. The footwell will illuminate a red light down here at your brake pedal. So when you're driving at night, you can see your brake pedal and fuel pedal. Okay. The fuel gauge in the center, obviously. The green box is the diesel exhaust fluid or DEF fluid gauge. As that gets used, your green squares will go away. Without that in there, the truck will not run. In typical everyday use, you'll go through 3 tankfuls of regular fuel, okay, to 1 tank full of diesel exhaust fluid. If you run out of that, even though you have a full tank of fuel, you're out of business. You're going to be left on the side of the road, okay? Regen light is if you ever have to do a manual regen. We can push the button all you want and hold it for 5 seconds and it won't take. In other words, it won't regen itself because it's not up to operating temperature. But also, that button is not live or usable unless the truck is in need of a parked regen, is what they call it. So this light will come on the dummy switch right here that tells you the DPF regen is needed. Okay, so if you have this light flashing, okay, then you either need to drive and get the truck up to temperature and it'll do an automatic regen while you're driving, or do a parked regen. Basically the regen, you have the particulate filter on the truck that traps the exhaust in there. It senses when that filter is filled. It will inject diesel fuel into there, ignite it, burn that stuff, and throw it out of the exhaust. And that happens about every 350 miles to 400 miles in your daily driving when you're going down the road. You may find yourself idling at a dock waiting to get loaded and your regen light comes on, okay? So you either can get in the truck and go drive and wait for it to do it itself, or you can do a parked regen. So to do a parked regen, you want to make sure your truck is in neutral, your cruise control is off, your parking brake is applied, and then the truck has to be up to operating temperature. Operating temperature for this truck is about 180 to 210 degrees, okay? And then you hold the regen button for about 5 seconds. And if a regen is needed, the RPMs of the truck will kick up to about 10,000 RPMs. If it's not, nothing's gonna happen, just like now. Shutdown override is what this is, okay? The truck has a lot of sensors in it, so it's gonna sense if it's low on coolant, low on oil, something like that. And you could be going down the road today and it's low on coolant. To protect the engine, it's gonna shut the truck down itself. It's gonna take away the power, okay? You could be in an intersection and you need to get to a safe spot. You could be on the highway, you need to get to a safe spot. You can push that shutdown override, okay? And it'll give you about a 35 to 45 second burst to get you off to a safe spot. So you can't come all the way from California back to Columbus pushing that button, because every time you push that button, it records it on the truck computer. It's not designed for that. It's designed to get you out of harm's way on the side of the road and override the automatic shutdown that's on the truck. Automatic traction control, ATC, all right? Basically what that is if you're in snowy, icy conditions. You don't want to use it on dry pavement. You don't want to use it if you're trying to go, through mud, that type of thing. It's designed for snowy, icy roads, 35 miles an hour or below, okay? And you just hit that button, and what it does now is it gives you drive power on both those wheels versus one, okay? So it increases your traction back there. Hill stop assist override is what that button is, okay? Hill stop assist. These transmissions, all right, say you're at a stoplight on a hill, all right? The older transmissions, you had to have your foot on the brake and your foot on the gas so the truck wouldn't roll backwards and crush the car behind you, all right? These trucks automatically have an automatic brake that now engages to stop the truck from rolling backwards, all right? So it's already on there. If you want to turn that off, hill stop assist override, okay? You want to turn that system off, you'd push that button. Why some would want to do that is if you're going down in a loading dock. Some people like to just maybe put the truck in neutral and coast down in that loading dock a little bit slower versus having in reverse and gassing their way down in that loading dock. That's about the only thing I've ever heard why someone would do it. Heated mirror, pretty simple. It heats your mirrors out there, all right? Utility lamp on this truck is the light for the inside of the van body. Okay, inside the van body you have two LED lights, okay, that light up, that turns it on and off. Then you have 3 option switches. We put these 3 option switches in there from the factory. They're pre-wired into the truck in case you want to add something, extra fog lights, extra van body lights, something like that. You want to get it done at a proper place. These trucks are all computerized, so if you just go ahead and stick fog lights on it and get into a PowerPoint, you're going to short some stuff out. So these modules are already in there, so you need to take it to a Freightliner place and they'll connect to those modules properly. This guy right here is your suspension dump valve, okay? It's on an air ride suspension, all right? Basically, you got auto or lower. When you hit this like this, okay, what it's doing is it's taking the air out of the rear airbags and lowering the truck right down on the frame. When you want to stop it, now what it's going to do is it's going to build that air back up and level it out. Why you would want that, why we put them on there, is you may back up to a dock that doesn't match the height of your truck, okay, maybe lower. So in this case, you can go ahead and evacuate the air and lower down the back end of that to match the dock. Another reason is a lot of folks go in and out of there with a forklift. So what they're doing is putting a lot of pressure and torque on your airbag suspension, okay? And that wears out your airbags prematurely. The Thermo King Reefer unit in the Euro scan from FedEx, turn that on, and it's gonna go through probably a minute or so of self-checking. So it's gonna go through before it starts the engine and make sure that it's got the proper coolant, the proper oil, all that type of stuff. Set point button will hit, okay? And it's gonna pull up what it's set at. Right now it's set at 20 degrees Celsius. So you want a plus or minus, okay? So we'll take it to 22, all right. Is that okay? Yes. Now it's gonna reprogram it and it's set to go to 23 degrees Celsius. Currently, it's 17 degrees Celsius in the van body. So we'll go back to menu. I want to show you how to switch from Celsius to Fahrenheit. When you go back to menu, it's going to tell you, it'll go through what menu you're in. We don't want to go to alarms, no data logger, hour meter, mode. Okay, so we want to go to mode, select, okay, hit next. Celsius, okay, we want to select and plus or minus to change. So right now it's set to Celsius, okay. Fahrenheit, okay, yes. So mode, and then go through and just follow the prompts, is what's going to change you from Celsius to Fahrenheit, okay. So with FedEx, you're going to get loads dispatched to you in both. So you got to know how to do that. How to get to the hour meter, you want to go to the menu and continue to hit it next until it gets to hour meter. Once you get to the hour meter screen, hit select and it will tell you how many hours. 114 hours on the unit right now. This guy right here is your data reader. That's basically owned by FedEx, okay? And what that's doing is it has 4 channels or 4 probes there, and it'll constantly flip through. Like right now it says number 2 front, and it'll tell you the degrees. In the van body, you'll see 4 probes that are hanging on the wall up there, okay? And what that's doing is it's constantly capturing the current temperature of the van and recording it to this device, okay? It's gonna store it in that device, okay? And then you can actually print out like a cash register tape, give to the customer, give attached to the load, whatever FedEx requires. All the lights up here are door activated. Now when you close your door properly, that'll dim in about 5 seconds. And they're also push button activated. So you have 3 lights up here. That one, okay, you can turn them on or off, or here's a red one for, you know, reading a map at night or seeing your gauges and stuff at night, okay? The one thing about the Cascadia is the doors are sealed very well. They have 3 rows of seal or trim on there to them. So sometimes you think the door's closed, okay? And if you don't close it well enough, your lights aren't going to go off. And then if you do continue to put the truck in gear when the door's not closed, you'll hear a chime, okay? Power brake off, door open, so you have to reclose your door. So the generator is running. And what's happening, what the generator is going to do is it's a separate engine. When it's running, it's going to provide power to all the appliances in the truck. What it's also doing is charging the truck batteries when it's running. You want to make sure on the menu here now is it has what's called a battery monitor. And what that does is when it's on, the battery monitor's on, it will sense when the truck's batteries are low. If something's left on in the truck and is draining the batteries down, the generator will start automatically by itself, charge the truck batteries up, and then shut itself off, okay? So to make sure it's on, we'll go back through and hit the menu button. And it says battery monitor, right? Okay, hit the arrow button, go back, I'm sorry, hit it again, and it's on. So leave it alone. If we want to turn it off, we hit the arrow, set, all right, and then it'll say it's off and it's on. So you want to leave that on. And what that's going to do is it's going to ensure that, you know, you're not going to come back to a dead truck. If you go into a shop for service, a lot of mechanics don't like that thing coming on and off when they're underneath the truck. So they'll come up in here and get in there and shut that off. So anytime you go into a shop and have something done, make sure before you hit the road that your battery monitors turn back on. Other thing on this here is in the upper left-hand corner is your hour meter. When this thing's installed, it has a break-in oil in it, okay? About 150 to 200 hours on that. You want to get that break-in oil out of there, all right? Once you get that break-in oil out of there, then you go to 1,000-hour service intervals. So every 1,000 hours, that has to be changed. Your inverter takes the battery power from the truck and converts it to electricity for your appliances. That green light's on, it means your inverter's on. So now it will give you all the power you need back here, all your outlets, your TV, your DVD, your microwave, everything. If you leave your inverter on, it's going to draw your batteries. The only time you want your inverter on is when you're driving and you need power back here. Now what we can do is we can come to our thermostat, just like we have at home, okay, and select either the air conditioning or the heat, okay, and you can use this simple remote, okay, to do it. Okay, this remote control is for the fantastic roof vent fan. Hit manual or auto, okay, and you can see it's raising, and as it raises, it'll start spinning, okay. Now there's a rain sensor on that fan, so if you have it open at night and it starts raining, it'll close down automatically. So your water system, you have a 13-gallon water tank. This has hot and cold water. This switch right here is your water pump, okay? So you turn your spigot on, and I don't know if this has water in it or not, and turn your pump on, okay? Now that'll move water through the system. If you want hot water, this has a hot water tank. You turn that on and come over here and turn your hot water on, okay? And you're good to go. The water will run right down to the ground. There's no dirty water holding tank. You got to understand, it's something that can freeze. So if you want to drain this system, you want to leave these spigots open, okay, and drain the water out so the water's drained out of the line itself so it doesn't freeze. A lot of folks during the winter months don't run water because they run the risk of it freezing. You can leave your generator running, leave the heat on in the generator, okay, and it's going to keep your cab area warm and your water tank won't freeze. Okay, you have a 29-inch smart TV. It also has regular antenna that's built in the roof of the truck. Then it also has a DVD player, and it also has a WineGuard satellite dome up there on the roof. The driver has to subscribe to either DirecTV or Dish Network, get the receiver, and install it right here. And it's already pre-wired. You have to plug it in right in the back there and put this coaxial in the back of the receiver. Okay, I recommend going to like a Camper World. They're going to go ahead, they're going to install it for you, make sure it works, set you up, get your subscription going and everything right there. So, you know, if you have the receiver there, okay, all you do is you hit that switch and it turns your dome on underneath there, okay? You turn your TV on and now you'll have whatever you subscribe for. The cooktop here is an induction cooktop. Basically what that means is you have to have a magnetic pan, which you can buy anywhere. Turn this guy on and it won't actually come on unless you have the pan. The whole idea about this is, you know, you're cooking a bowl of soup or something, you take that off of there and then right away you can touch that and you won't burn yourself. It cools quickly. Let's take a look at the microwave now. Is a microwave convection oven. If you look at it, it has a grilling element up in there like grill would at your house, and it has the convection fan in the back. So certainly you could use it like for popcorn, okay, but you can actually, you know, cook a steak in there with the browning element up there, chicken, potatoes, that type of stuff. So it's a convection oven also. And there is an instruction manual with that, but it's pretty easy to use. The nice thing about the bed in the up position is you have extra space here, okay? To deploy the table, you pull this down and there's instructions on here. This is not load bearing, so you can't stand on this. It says it right there. Push this guy here, unlatch that, and the table will come down and click into place. All right, so let's look at the bed system. There's a knob right here. Just twist it, pull the bed down, okay, and push it down to where it's in the lock position, okay. It's a double wide bed, it's 48 inches wide, close to a double size mattress or full mattress. The nice thing is you can leave your sheets and your blankets on that when you fold it back up, okay? You don't have to break it all down. So to unlock this, again, you got to twist this guy here, lift up the bed, and it'll lock in the up position again. This seat here, on the front side of this right here, there's a little styrofoam filter, kind of like a little furnace filter, okay? that every now and then you need to take out of there, and it's something that's washable. You can just run it under water, wring it out, and put it back in there. The white square unit is your water heater. It's a 3-gallon water tank, okay? So when you hit your water heater, that's what it's heating right there. So that holds 3 gallons of water. This box right here in the vents are the heating and air conditioning, so you don't want to jam this area up with blankets, pillows, that kind of stuff. This area needs to keep open so you can keep air going to both these settings underneath here.